Hey guys, Bob O'Kane here, back with another episode of Kayfabe Conversations. And today we have a very special guest. We have an absolute veteran of the business, Steve, the ESL teacher, or just Steve the teacher now. Steve, how's things? How's it going, man?
Well, before I even start that, I have to ask, what's the matter? The Brooklyn Brawler wasn't available. Couldn't
Yeah.
find Petey Williams. I don't.
They,
You're really
they, they don't
doing
answer my
the
calls.
bottom of the barrel here. What's going on?
No, I've been following your career for the last year or so in MKW, and after speaking with a bunch of the other guys like Big Sam and Boofa and stuff, and this current storyline you have going on, I just thought, got to have you on.
Fair enough.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out as well.
Good company, then.
Yeah, exactly. And so start off recently this week or last week, sorry, you had the latest MKW tapings.
Yes, we were in Harbin for 4 days of taping.
Awesome. So how many shows do you record over those 4 days?
Well, we did one on, excuse my dog.
Amazing.
We did one on Friday, excuse me. That was live. So that was an extended show.
That. That's awesome.
Live. And then we did 3 other tapings where we did 4 shows per day.
Per day? I thought it was 4 shows over the 4 days. Jesus, yep. That's intense.
Well, with the situation it is, we got to keep the TV going until at least National Day.
Yeah, that's true. So when does stuff open up for you guys again?
Well, stuff is beginning to open up. Right. We did have a paid audience for the first time in a long time on Friday. But we've been doing shows in malls before that, where I guess because it's free, there was no regulations. I'm not sure if that's the real reason or not. Ironically, though, the city that I'm in is now having another outburst of the virus.
Oh, no way.
I'm predicting that my gym is going to close soon, so I'm getting ready for that.
Oh, shit, that sucks, man. So how has the last 18 months been for you, like business-wise, wrestling-wise? Like, has you just been on lockdown? Like, what's the deal?
Not really. No, I haven't been affected. When you say business, I don't know if you realize this, but I have my own side business. I sell fitness supplements and services. Anyway,
okay, awesome.
That's been booming.
Yeah. Is that all online?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
The supplements are only available in China. Everything else, the training I can do online. I have a specific platform set aside for that. But that's not the point of here. I'm not trying to pitch my products.
No, hey, mate, if you want to plug anything, go crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my style. Anyway, with the lockdown, I was unable to attend the very first set of Blast Off tapings last year.
Right.
Because my job was convinced that I'd be put back into quarantine for 2 weeks upon return, so they would not let me go. Since then,
even just across China.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Since then, I found another school that I teach at. So when I went through the negotiation process, the very first thing I said was, "I'm a wrestler. I need as much days off as I want. I'm not going to be limited by a contract."
And they were okay with that? They were cool?
I got to tell you, this is the best gig I've ever had teaching-wise. They were cool with that. They're cool with paying me part-time. Well, scheduling me part-time, paying me full-time.
Oh,
and then just for kicks, I said, I want a free membership at the gym across the street. And they went, okay.
No way, really? Sweet.
I did not expect that.
Pretty well then.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, nice. It's good to hear someone who can actually still get by and is doing pretty well during these shitty ass times.
Yeah, knock wood. And then we have some businesses in the Philippines, which will be our next destination.
Okay, awesome. So okay, well let's take it back a bit to wrestling. When because you're 54 years old now, is it?
That is correct. I'm a senior
54
citizen.
years old, and you've been in the wrestling business for how long now? When did you start wrestling?
This would be my 20th year.
20th year wrestling.
Let me rephrase that. My first match was on my 34th birthday 20 years ago. But I did
Wow.
retire for 6 to 7 years in my mid to late 40s.
Oh, really? Because 34 is even quite late to start
Absolutely.
wrestling.
Absolutely. But when I was a 15-year-old kid, you couldn't find a wrestling school online because there was no internet.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right.
Now in
It's
America,
crazy.
every city has at least one wrestling school.
So okay, so let's take it back. How old were you when you got into wrestling? Were you a late fan, or were you a fan as a kid and then only got into it
As a
later?
fan, I happened to stumble on it on Sports Vision cable out of New York when I was in 10th grade. I'm sorry, fourth grade, excuse me. I was 10 years old. Fourth grade. And I got some kind of super card out of Madison Square Garden. I had, let's see who was on that card. Andre the Giant teamed with,
Jesus.
oh my God, I can't remember. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
so you were there
They went
live,
against
you
the
mean?
Valiants and Lou Albano. Bruno Sammartino was on the card.
Wow.
Mil Mascaras against superstar Billy Graham.
Jesus. That's like you just listed a bunch of Hall of Famers.
And I think it was like the debut of Bob Backlund.
Oh, wow. Oh, Jesus. That's old school.
Oh, yeah. I'm old.
Nice. Yeah. So then what were you doing from that age? Did you want to be a wrestler, or was it you just like got into teaching and then decided like I'm going to do it?
I always wanted to be a wrestler in the back of my mind, deep in my heart, but it just didn't seem like a reality. I was a skinny kid. I was Jewish. I'm not athletic. I didn't have any friends in the business. Back in those days, either you had a connection or you were a retired NFL player for the most part.
Yeah, that's true. Even like even growing up in the UK and in Hong Kong still, now I think Bitman is just literally last week, Hong Kong have just got their first wrestling ring, like full setup. Because before that, like Ho and them used to train in squash courts on gym mats, like on the thin ass judo mats. So I can't even imagine what it would be like back then trying to get into a wrestling school or whatever. But then when you did, where did you start training? When did you decide, you know what, I'm actually going to give this a go and I'm gonna be a wrestler?
Well, had the opportunity come along sooner, I would have given it a chance a long time ago. And I realized that everything that I did in my life was like a substitute for wrestling. I didn't go to school to be a teacher. I was an actor.
Okay.
I've taken martial arts. I've done bodybuilding. That's all just to
everything that comes together. What can you do with all those things?
Yeah. So, I've always wanted to be a wrestler, but just had to substitute it. But then when I was 33 at the time, I saw a late night TV commercial for on cable access for CZW, and they advertised the school.
So your first school was CZW?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow. And they're super obviously famous for their deathmatch wrestling, the light tubes, the barbed wire, everything. Were you training while they were doing all that shit? Were you like thinking in your head, this is what I'm going to have to do? Or was it more traditional wrestling?
I was in their heyday with the ultra violence.
So did you take part in some of these crazy matches?
And Lobo and all those people.
Yeah.
Zandig is the owner of the school.
Yeah.
He sold it to DJ Hyde. But they didn't train us in any of that ever. It was all basic.
But then
my trainers were actually VD, if you remember them.
Who, sorry?
VD, Valentine, and Dahmer.
Yeah.
They were the trainers at the time.
So you trained in like traditional wrestling. So did you have your debut match in CZW?
I did not. I went beyond them and went to LIWF, the Doghouse in Brooklyn, New York. Low Key came out of there, Homicide, Amazing Red, all of those guys. But I met a guy there that my very first match 20 years ago, Bufa.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
20 years later, in my first match in China, who was in the locker room? Bufa.
No way, that's crazy. Because obviously I had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he said he was in the Doghouse and stuff. But that's crazy that you guys it was at the same time. Like that's mental.
Yeah. We never connected back then because he was established and I was just some green kid. Well, green man. But we've really connected over here. We talk to each other quite often, and he's the only one who gets my wry sense of humor.
Yeah.
When we're all out at dinner, he keeps like he'll hit the other guys. Hey, listen to Steve. You're missing some good stuff here.
Oh yeah, and all the local Chinese guys are like, "What is he talking about?"
Yeah, but Big Sam too, and
yeah. Well, actually, I've got. I'll come on to that in a bit. Big Sam's told me just a couple of snippets. I've been chatting to him on WeChat. I said I'm obviously going to have you on. In fact, actually, we're going to go straight into it because we're just talking about CCW. So he said to me, you had a few crazy road stories and stuff, and one of them was with Billy Gunn. Did Billy Gunn? You had an incident with Billy Gunn. Was that in the ring?
Yes. I don't want to use the word incident. Accident.
Accident. Okay.
I was in control. I had the shine, and it was his turn to take over. So I threw him into the turnbuckle. I thought that the switch was he was going to roll out of the way and I would dive. I'd miss a body press.
Right.
He thought it was a big boot.
Oh, okay.
So I ran face first. You can watch this on YouTube. I can.
Oh, you got a video of it
too. Boot, broke my nose.
Oh wow.
And still had 5 minutes left in the match at least.
And you carried on with the match with a broken nose?
Yeah. And right from that, after the boot, we did a double down. And as are you okay, Steve? You're right. I'm sorry. It wasn't his fault. I botched the spot. That's and I even he gave me a famouser and a jackhammer after that.
With a broken nose?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's pretty heavy. I'm not
going to lie to you, though. I don't want to lie to you. I've always had this nose even before he broke it.
You're not blaming Billy for that one?
No, I'd like to, but it wouldn't be right.
Yeah. So when in your career was this match with Billy Gunn, and what promotion was this for?
It was for a promotion called RPWF, Real Pro Wrestling Federation, out of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Okay. It was a husband and wife promoter. They've since gotten divorced, and they've been fighting for over 7 years on Facebook for everyone to see, by the way. And calling out their kids, and oh my God. But wow. Anyway, I had met the husband when I was at World Star Wrestling Federation. For some reason, I was treated very well there. Didn't deserve it, but I was one of the top heels. And we did an angle where we were at Bushkill in the Fernwood Resort, Bushkill, Pennsylvania. They've done like Raws there, believe it or not.
Oh, nice.
And, we did an angle where someone from the audience started giving me lip, and I challenged him to come into the ring. Unfortunately, nobody told security about this, and they were not letting him in until finally I had to smarten him up. And then the kid got in, got a couple lucky shots on me. And then the promoter of that federation ran in. No, you're not a trained professional wrestler. You give me 60 days and I'll train you and you can beat him. And it was his first opportunity. I traveled a few hours to practice with the kid. He didn't have much experience. He actually, believe it or not, went to the Shawn Michaels Academy prior to that. But his house had burned down, so he had to leave after only a few weeks.
Oh, Jesus.
But he still, to this day, maintains a relationship with Shawn and his mom.
That's crazy.
But he never forgot that opportunity. So when he started his own fed, first of all, I should preface that when I was done with World Star, he took me into Office Fed, WXW.
Okay, nice.
And then he had a falling out with Alpha because this guy's a drama queen and he has a falling out with everybody. I'm not going to share this link with him. And so he started his own fed and he brought me in, and he just brought in all these big names to every show, and he just kept feeding them to me.
Really? That's awesome, though.
That's how Billy Gunn came about.
Who else were you in the ring with?
Well, for him, Billy Gunn, Val Venus, Ivory, believe it or not.
No way. That's awesome.
Melissa Coates, who just recently passed.
And that was all just in this small indie federation.
Right. for the previous one that I had mentioned, they had gotten me one of the original doinks.
Oh, nice. What, Matt Bourne?
I faced at least 6 doinks in my lifetime, by the way.
Really?
Every
well,
Fed.
okay, actually, that brings me on to my next one that Big Sam briefly mentioned to me. He said you had a dog leash roller derby match.
Oh my God. They think that's the funniest thing. All of them.
Well, as soon as I literally just read that and I was like, I must have read that wrong. A dog leash roller derby match. Please explain that one to me.
Well, this was at a federation called World Pro Wrestling, WPW. And once a year they ran a show at a roller rink.
Okay.
Otherwise they ran every month in the typical places.
Right.
And at the previous show, the promoter decides to challenge me to a roller skating match 1 year away.
Oh my God.
And when I came out, I said, these are indie fans. Do you think they care about
what's going to happen in a year's time?
About a year later? And it turns out that when that year expired, he backed out of it and he had one of his trusted workers take his place. So we both had a collar around our necks, a dog collar. Oh, and the rules were whoever could roller skate around the perimeter of the ring and cross the finish line first was the winner. Anything goes in between there. So I'm throwing a drop kick, or at least trying to, with
roller skates on.
Roller skates on. I did a DDT to the kid. But then there was another clown there. I don't even remember Doink being there, but I saw the video. So yes, he was there. There was another clown, Crappy the Clown.
Crappy.
And he reeked of meth. Oh my God. The guy just smelled like chemicals. And as I was about to cross the finish line and claim victory, he shot me with a toilet paper dispenser gun.
Right.
And so I bumped to toilet paper while the other guy scurried across the line and got the victory.
That sounds incredible. But yeah, so
you have the footage.
A dog collar roller dog. Did you practice that a lot? Because I feel like that would be something like if you can't roller skate.
Not at all.
Kind of ever. Fucked. Was the crowd like in the roller rink? Like how was the setup?
Yeah, we were actually fighting around them because the seats were in the middle of the rink and we were skating on the perimeter.
I understand why Big Sam told me to mention that because that's incredible. And the fact that Doink was just there with Crappy the Clown, who smells like meth, is amazing.
Oh my God.
When you were back then, were you already Steve the teacher? Like when you were already teaching when you got into wrestling, right?
Yeah, I had been teaching for about 12 years at that point.
So did you ever have any previous gimmicks, or did you just know I'm going to go in with this teacher gimmick and see how it goes?
I didn't know what to do. And speaking of CZW, I ran some gimmicks by Zandig, and most of them were like Jewish gimmicks, and he just didn't want to touch religion.
Right. Okay.
Like I had the Hebrew hammer and names like, and he was no. And he couldn't remember my name. He kept calling me Teach, so I said, let's just go with it.
And then, so you were just Steve the teacher from the very beginning,
right? I did a masked character on and off. Gyoza, the Japanese warrior.
Oh, nice. Did you do that around the States or around?
I did, and then once I retired, I threw out all that gear, and when I came back, I never reprised it.
So when did you retire, and what made you come out of retirement and start wrestling again?
I retired maybe when I was 46, 47, not sure. I was doing a show. I got a concussion and a torn ligament in my knee. I'm sorry, torn meniscus. For $20, and then had to drive home by myself for 3 hours. And I said, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Driving with a concussion is not recommended.
It's pretty fucking dangerous too, yeah.
But then that same guy who I mentioned to you before, the promoter, the drama queen,
right.
Like 5 or 6 years later, got in touch. Steve, we really need you. We really need you. We're doing a show. We haven't run in a while. Everyone's asking about you. I said, they don't remember me.
No way. That's
no,
awesome.
Yeah, I swear. They're asking me about you. When I got there, nobody remembered me.
Was it even the same fans?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. So
Oh,
then,
I've had some interesting experience. Also 6 years. I don't know why this is the magic number, but I did a show in Quarryville, Pennsylvania, which is like Amish country.
right.
6 years later, I come back and there's a lady with a sign with pictures of me posed with her 6 years ago.
No way. Had you run many shows there, or it was just one and then you came back?
Well, the first Fed went out of business shortly thereafter. They only did about 4 or 5 matches in the area, only one in that city. But I came back with another Fed into the same city, and
she was there with your pictures.
Was there, yeah.
That's amazing. Hey, well, at least you know your gimmick is working and you're getting over.
To some extent. I mean, as long as people understand that I'm old school, and you're not going to see me doing a 450 Hurricane Rana through 2 tables.
Right. Well, that was actually going to be one of my next questions, because I think it was
no
yesterday.
Canadian Destroyer, no Tope Suicida.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I saw a video of Too Cold Scorpio doing a front flip leg drop, like at the weekend, and he must be your age at least.
Yeah.
And that's why it came out to me. That's why I was so surprised when you got into the business so late. But do you prefer the old school style of wrestling, or because you got into the business later, are you more accustomed to the high spots and the flippy shit?
No, not at all. I got to be honest again, because I'm always honest. I've always rated my wrestling ability as a C-, but my ability to tell a good story and to connect with the fans and cut promos, A+.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And that's carried me through. I mean, I've been a world champion 10. Excuse me, I forgot I just got one in China recently. 10 different times with extremely limited ability, because I can engage with the fans.
Do you find also, especially over in China, like the Steve, the ESL teacher, and the gimmick you've had with your protege, what's his name?
Wang Tao, that bastard.
Yeah, with Wang Tao, and I love it because growing up in Hong Kong, I know the whole thing with like English teachers, ESL teachers, whatever, and then when he screwed up or screwed you over, you put him in detention and stuff like that. Like, do you find that the gimmick works better over in Asia because people can relate to it so easily, or do you think it doesn't really matter where you are?
I don't think it's the gimmick that's getting over as much as again, my engagement. I go slow. I look at the crowd. I interact. I walk out of the ring 2 or 3 times a match.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
The reality is I'm just tired, but they don't need to know that.
Well, exactly. Well, that's also where your acting and stuff comes in, right? As well.
Yeah, exactly.
You can buy yourself some time, give you a minute to chill out, and then get back in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
And I even bring it up in the ring. I said, hey, Wusha Sosway. I'm 54 years old. Give me a break.
Well, you just mentioned that you've won, what, 10 world championships around the world? Aside from
9 of them in Northeastern America, and 1 was awarded to me in China.
Who was that for? Was that recently?
January 2nd, I came in to WLW in Anshan as the mysterious new champion who's never wrestled for them before.
Oh, wow.
It reminded me of Pat Patterson winning the Intercontinental title in a tournament in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Yeah. So was the story that you'd already won it?
In fact, I didn't even have a physical belt.
Oh, really? They just named you the world champ.
That's quite a story, by the way, too, because that was severely affected by the quarantine.
Right.
So
you didn't even have a match. You just got told you're the world champion now.
Well, then I had a match and dropped it that night.
Oh.
But prior to that, I had gotten, as the law required at that time, I got my swab test 14 days before. It's supposed to be valid for that long. But then they changed it to 72 hours. So I had to go again. Then they changed it to 36 hours.
So you have to go again.
And then the day before I went, I had to have it that day.
Oh, wow. So you had to get tested 4 times in one match.
I had to get the 4 COVID tests in 1 week. But the morning I got to the train station, they wouldn't let me on. So I had to take a taxi 3 hours to get to the next city. And then when I got there, the promoter, who happened to be Wang Tao, by the way,
oh, nice,
was afraid that I wouldn't be let back into my town. So he made me get another COVID test. And I was leaving that night. It wouldn't be ready till the next day. He told them, can you rush it? So they got me the results, but I had to sit in an emergency room for closer to 8 hours. I was sitting in an emergency room.
What?
And in China, there were cigarette butts on the floor. So I don't know what kind of an emergency room this was. But
you can smoke anywhere over there.
Yeah, they gave me, finally, they told me that it was negative. You can go. And by the time I got there, the matches were halfway through.
Oh, okay.
So I walked in. I had my gear underneath. I was prepared for that at least.
Right.
But I walk in my street clothes. I got my bag on my shoulder. And I just start screaming and cursing at the whole audience. I'm just some foreigner who walked in. You tried to keep me out. You were afraid of American wrestlers. And I grabbed the microphone out of the ring announcer's hand. He had no idea who I was.
Oh, wow.
And I cut a pretty good promo. And then when I went backstage, they were all so happy to see me. And then Wang Tao said, now you got to cut a promo, Steve. I'm like, I just cut a 15-minute promo in the ring. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oops.
So I went straight into my match.
Through the door and straight into the ring.
Yeah, pretty much. And fortunately, it was against somebody I went against twice. But I still ended up spiking myself on a DDT, which kind of hurt for a few months.
Yeah. So speaking of that, like you mentioned before, you blew out your meniscus. What have you had any other crazy injuries? Because I mean, to still be going at 54 years old is pretty fucking impressive and pretty unheard of in the wrestling world.
Well, I've had 6 diagnosed concussions. It might be more.
Since you were 34?
Yeah.
It's
no, I'm sorry. There was one that occurred in college that was unwrestling related.
Oh, yeah? Keg stand.
Yeah. A speaker fell off a balcony and hit me in the head.
Jesus.
A big theater speaker, not just like your
that sounds like something you would see in wrestling.
Yeah. New Jack would probably be involved in that somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some of my injuries are actually quite funny. I broke my wrist giving my finisher to someone else.
What?
I don't know if you know this hardcore guy, Low Life Louis Ramos.
Louis Ramos? I don't think I do.
Yeah. He was like one of the founders of the Doghouse back then.
Oh, okay, sweet.
And I gave him my spinning DDT final exam.
Yeah.
And he rolled on my wrist the wrong way and broke my wrist. Eesh. And I didn't realize it until I went to exit the ring and I did like one of those Ron Simmons things where you catapult yourself over.
Yeah.
And my wrist just gave out and I almost went head first into the concrete.
Oh.
Then in Reading, Pennsylvania, I ended up getting 4 stitches in the back of my head during a run-in. A polo party, excuse me. I was trying to separate these 2 big guys and they're reaching over me and the guy hit his elbow in the back of my head and busted me open.
And you got concussion?
No, that was no concussion on that one, but 4 stitches. And I just remember them because bleeding is illegal in Pennsylvania. So
really?
They were trying to just rush me in the back. And I don't even know why, because I couldn't see the blood, but I found out.
Did you realize at all? Or were you just like, that hurt?
Yeah, just that hurt until I got back and then they stitched me up. One time I broke my ankle. I was wrestling the 420-pound big slam at the time. And I went for the pin and he pressed me so strongly off of him that I rolled out of the ring and broke my ankle. But the worst part was I had to drive through. This was a show in the afternoon. I had to drive 3 hours to a show at night, wrestle with the broken ankle. We won the tag team championships, which wasn't even planned. And then drive home another 3 hours. So it was
that's like a Kurt Angle story. I won the tag belts with a broken friggin' ankle.
Oh yeah. Did you see his post to Conor McGregor about that?
I did. Yeah. That was awesome.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Okay. So as Steve the Teacher, which you had, well, basically your whole career, did you take elements of other teacher or like authority figures in wrestling, like the Genius from back in the day, Dean Douglas, Matt Striker, or were you just like, I'm going to do my own thing? Or is it impossible
to the best of my knowledge,
separate?
I was doing my own thing. I don't believe I was. I mean, I didn't take any ideas and say, "Oh, I need to bring a chalkboard into the ring," because Dean Douglas did. So I don't think I did, but there might be overlapping elements.
And what about Matt Striker? Did you? Because none of them really came to the ring in like, you wear your sleeveless shirt and you have the tie and you wrestle in that gear, right? Matt Striker still just had his mini trunks.
Right. I was actually supposed to wrestle Striker right before he went to WWE, but he already knew the gimmick, so it was going to be a teacher versus teacher thing for the Monster Factory.
No way, that's amazing.
But it never happened. Oh, I have so many opponents who I was supposed to wrestle that never happened.
Oh, really?
George the Animal Steel, Ox Baker, never happened.
Oh, really? Who are some other big names?
Another show I was supposed to do, I had met them at a convention signing by that same drama queen. He paid for them to come in. Nash and Hall.
No way.
We were going to do a tag match with them the following show, but that's when the marriage started to break up.
Oh, shit.
So that never happened.
You would have wrestled the Outsiders. That's epic.
Right. It would have been very limited. It would have been like a choke slam and a razor's edge, one each, and that would have been the whole match. Be it.
What timeline was this? Was this what stage of the Outsiders would this have been?
Oh, they were long retired.
Oh, okay.
And just doing the circuit.
Right.
Kevin Nash was explaining to us in the hotel room afterwards. Quite a interesting chat that we had. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, MVP, Mick and Noel Foley came in. Rick Steiner was there.
For the same show?
In the same hotel room, drinking at 2 a.m. Except for Scott Hall. Scott Hall would only have Diet Pepsi.
Well, there you go. First time for everything.
Well, when we brought him in, that was one of my responsibilities, was to keep an eye on him. And I was quite intimidated by it. But he...
that's not an easy job.
We were in the bar and he walked in and some guy said, "Oh, you're my favorite. Let me buy you a beer." He goes, "If you're really a fan, buy me a Diet Pepsi." And then I said, "Oh, this is going to be an easy night."
Yeah.
And it was. But anyways, so Nash was saying that, he's got millions of dollars. Why does he keep doing signings and things like this and personal? And he said, if you walk by an ATM machine and it spits out $600 at you for no reason, are you going to walk away?
Yeah.
So that was his attitude of a payday is a payday.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like they have to bust their bodies now. They literally sit there, take a few photographs, and boom, payday.
Yeah. Now, the following show, I had to babysit Marty Jannetty, and that was a totally different story.
Jesus.
Oh, my God. But 10 a.m. in the morning, he was completely drunk, and I had to chase him around the whole time. And he's making all these lewd comments to women. And he went to the table where the Hardy Boys were at this point. And
wait, where was this taking place?
This was the Iconics show in the original ECW arena.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And the promoter who brought in the Hardy said, and he's somebody who I worked with, "Steve, I paid $12,000 for these guys. You got to get him out of here."
Shit.
So I had to drag him away.
And what was Marty supposed to be wrestling on the show?
No, this is just the signing again.
Okay.
And we brought him in for that.
And he was just obliterated the whole time.
Yeah.
Because you see some of the stuff he puts on Facebook and stuff, like
very questionable. Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, that dude. And everyone thought Shawn Michaels was the fucked up one from the Rockers.
Yeah.
And look at him now. Yeah, that's crazy. It's a shame because those guys were such legends, and they tried to bring him back a few times, but you can see he's just one of those guys that he needs DDP basically.
Yeah.
Because Scott Hall and Jake Roberts, you see them now. Like even your story there about Scott Hall, never would he have asked for a Diet Coke without DDP.
Right, and that was during this time, exactly.
Yeah. See, that's crazy. That's amazing. So you've literally shared the ring and stories and stuff with some of legendary Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I've actually. I mean, when you count it out, I have faced several Hall of Famers.
Who's your favorite? Your favorite, most famous, but like your favorite one to be in the ring with?
I'm gonna say Superfly.
Oh, sick!
Because although he was at the arena on time, he's very quiet, or was very quiet.
Right.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
So as the rookie, I wasn't going to come to him and say, "What do you want to do?" Because I heard all the stories of what New Jack did to people who started calling spots with him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We didn't really get to talk at all. And then there was one spot where I was punching him and had him back to the corner. I started punching him in the head, and I was hoping that he would no sell it, like I've seen on TV, all that. And that's exactly what he did. And it was just like chemistry.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Like
and then he hit me with the hardest splash of all time. Oh my God. The referee was panicked. But in his defense, at that time, I was still so green that I didn't know that you're supposed to lean up a little bit and catch the guy to break it.
Right.
So I was just laying flat, and he flattened me. Oh. Yeah.
He's not a small guy.
I thought my lungs were going to explode.
Yeah. Jesus. That's amazing, though. So snooker. Who else? Who are some of the other legends you've been in the ring with?
The very first one I faced was Doink the Clown, and because it was my first name, I'll always remember that. And also, he was just so willing to discuss the match with me over and over and over again. I've never been known for memorizing spots.
Right.
And talk me through it and make me look good. And he went over.
Yeah.
Almost all of the legends who I wrestled went over, except only one guy did the job for me.
Who was
Sal
that?
Sincere.
Oh, nice.
Dude, well, I guess he was happy because the Patriots won earlier in the night. So what a coincidence that they were at the same place. Oh my God.
That's awesome though. Those are some big names. Like,
yeah, I wrestled Nikolai Volkov twice, which was interesting both times.
How was that? Yeah. Where was that?
The first one was at a fire department on July 4th at Matamoros, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I'm at the merch table before the show. I'm trying to sell some pictures and stuff. He walks in. There's an open seat next to me. He goes, "Who am I wrestling?" And I said, "Oh, you got Steve the Teacher." He goes, "Who the hell is that?" And then I guess you'll find out in the ring. Sorry. And then the promoter wanted me to jump him on July 4th singing the national anthem. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Wow. Yeah.
But I did it because I do whatever a promoter tells me.
That's awesome, though. I bet you got heat for that.
Yeah. And then the second time, it was for the same Fed in another venue. And he wanted me to not look like I just got squashed. So his instruction to me was to drape my foot over the rope. So at least I could claim that I got cheated.
Right.
Unfortunately, we didn't tell the ref about it.
Oh, shit.
So he broke up the pin.
Oh,
and
how did you finish?
I get him in the corner. I said, "What do we do?" And he goes, "Same thing." And we did the same exact spot that put us in that situation in the first place. But I remember him at the first show at the merchandise table. He's sitting there. This little chubby kid comes up to him, wants an autograph. Couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 years old. And Nikolai looks at him, "Tell me something. Why are you so fat?" And he's a face.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But he was a nut about physical fitness in his later years. And also he was very disappointed that Americans knew such few foreign languages.
Oh, really?
"I speak 5 languages. You Americans only speak 1.
Mental. All right, mate. Well,
see, Tito Santana, I wrestled.
No, wait. When was all of this? Is this all in the States before you came over to China?
Yeah, all the States between, I would say, between 2005 and 2015.
Okay. So then, what made you move to China? Was it teaching or was it wrestling?
It was actually fear of failing in America. After teaching for 30 years, New Jersey changed the teacher evaluation system, purely designed to run out guys like me on top salary and save $60,000 a year per teacher by hiring new kids out of college. So they changed the whole thing. And I was actually on leave when the institution, when they trained all the teachers about how this evaluation process was going to happen. So they got training for a year, and then they got a year of amnesty. And then I came back and was thrown right into the mix where it counted.
Oh shit.
And I pretty much saw the writing on the wall and knew I was going to be fired in August. So I retired in May and beat them to the punch and got a portion of my pension, more than half, which is not bad, considering that I have a teaching salary here in China, and I also have my side businesses.
Yeah. So when was it when you moved to China? Was that 2015?
No, 2017, May 2017. Okay. I'd retired May 1st. I was in China May 8th.
Oh, really? That quick? You were just like, sweet, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and I worked really, really hard because I didn't have any of the documentation. I've never been out of the country, so I didn't have a passport. I didn't even have my birth certificate. I didn't have my college transcripts. So I took a lot of sick days to travel back and forth to New York to get these documents, and they would promise you it would be ready, and it wasn't ready, and until you had a temper tantrum, and then all of a sudden,
and then they can get
here it is.
Yeah.
Please
so
don't
you
hurt
never
us.
left the States, and then you randomly moved to China.
I went to Mexico for a week, but it was Cancun, which is like America South.
Yeah, spring break.
You didn't need a passport in those days.
That's crazy. So why did you choose China?
I was always fascinated with the Asian culture. I was taking a Chinese course at a community college for fun. And
because of
I asked the teacher when all this was going down, I said, do you think I could go to Philadelphia, because I lived near there at the time, and teach English to Chinese people? And she said, oh, you're crazy. You got to go to China. The market's open for you. They'll be craving you.
Yeah.
And I had multiple job offers within 48 hours. It was just
up to
me to decide.
That's amazing. And then, so when you got to China, were you like, okay, I guess I'm done with wrestling, I'm going to focus on my teaching? Or did you search out?
I thought I was done with wrestling back in the States. I had no intention of it.
Oh, really? And then you got,
I was in China
and then
before I even had any contact with MKW.
Really? So how did it come about? How did you get involved again with MKW and with the other promotions around China?
Well, I had lost a lot of weight. Between my first retirement and my comeback match, I put on about 90 pounds. I was 310 pounds at that time.
Okay.
From 217 was my wrestling weight. And I did my comeback match, and with literally the very first spot, I was blown up. Yeah. And I still had 14 minutes to go. Oof. All we did was the simple headlock, tackle drop down, hip toss spot, and I was exhausted.
Right.
And that's when I hit rock bottom and said, I got to change, because that 14-minute struggle was torture.
Yeah.
Well, so I dropped quite a bit of weight.
And now, I was gonna say, you're looking pretty hench these days.
Yes.
If I look half your size at 54, I'll feel fucking fantastic. Look at me. I look like a beanball.
To be honest, though, you're only seeing the upper half.
You don't do
my belly is not as flat as it should be. And part of it, a big part of it, not to make excuses, is that I have a sleeping disorder. And really? I wake up almost every hour and eat.
Oh, what? And eat?
Yeah. 1 o'clock, I'll have a peanut butter sandwich. 2 o'clock, I'll have a chicken breast. Then I might have potato chips at 3, all night long.
Really? Jesus. And, that must be expensive.
I eat fairly healthy during the day, but sleeping just kills me.
Every hour? Jesus. I don't know. I would have to lock my fridge. My wife would kill me.
Yeah. I have sleep apnea from when I was so fat, and I still have some of the traits, and that's.
But you've got your wrestling, teaching, personal training as well, is it? And your supplement business. You can't have that much time to sleep anyway.
I think my problem is that I go to sleep too early, like around 10:30, and then by midnight I'm up. So maybe the answer is to stay up later.
What? That's crazy though. But do you feel like refreshed after 2.5 hours sleep? That can't be normal.
No, but that's why God invented coffee.
Yeah. Coffee and peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, dude, it's been epic talking to you. Before I finish with everyone, I like to do a quick speed round. So I'll just ask you a bunch of questions. If you have a cool story, hit me with it. If not, we can move on. Boom. Okay.
Fair enough.
Easy as pie. So, who is your favorite wrestler of all time, living or dead, to watch?
Well, you already mentioned Cesaro. He's up in that list. Ric Flair is a favorite of mine. And although some people might laugh, I like Triple H.
Yeah, dude, he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's the corporate man now.
Oh, and Regal. I'm sorry, Regal also.
Regal. Oh, there you go. That's a name.
I like Tajiri.
Nice. Have you met Tajiri? He's been over. I don't know if he's done MKW, but he's done a couple of Hong Kong shows, and he's awesome.
Yeah, no, I've never met him. I would like to. We have Zombie Dragon. So how many green mist spitters do we need?
They had a match with, I think, were they a tag team or were they against each other? But yeah, it was like red and green mist.
Yeah.
And someone went after in the ring for their match, and they were just covered in that shit after like 2 minutes.
Well, accidentally, Marie blew that same mist onto Big Sam one time, and he really did look like the Jolly Green Giant.
Why did Marie have green mist?
They were doing, I think it, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm going to say an aborted angle where she had control of him for about 2 shows.
Okay. Was this something with voodoo?
Not that I'm aware of.
With Greg, because Greg mentioned something. Oh, sorry. I mean, yeah. Oops. No, he mentioned an angle or something like that Big Sam and Marie weren't keen on, but it was something about, I don't know if it was them getting taken over or something, or there was another, like a bondage group or something. I can't remember, but it sounded.
No, I think that's something different then.
Yes, maybe it is. All right. Well, we'll move on then. If you could wrestle anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh, wow. I would love to do a cheat, steal, and lie angle with Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Great answer.
I've stolen a few of his bits. Throwing the folding chair at the other guy and letting the referee disqualify him.
Nice. That is a classic, actually.
I haven't done the one where the boot comes off yet.
Oh, yeah. Did he win the world title with that?
I believe so, yeah, against Kurt Angle, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty epic one. Or maybe it wasn't the world, but yeah, now I remember that very well. Nice. Eddie Guerrero. Did you see Chavo also just debuted in AEW?
I did not know that. No, I'm not really keeping up with AEW too much.
No. Do you watch much modern wrestling nowadays?
Unfortunately, I just watch the WWE pay-per-views for the most part because it's just so hard with the Wi-Fi and all that it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Also, it's just I find I actually enjoy watching stuff like the more local indie stuff around Asia than I find WWE and AEW, because also 3-hour Raws I think is just too.
That's
too
part
much.
of it too. Yeah, it would take me all week with my schedule to get through one episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried some of the NJPW things, but the buffering was just too frustrating.
Yeah. Also for New Japan, I love the what do they have, the J Cup and stuff, the tournaments, they're big Tokyo Dome shows, but their regular shows seem like not boring, but they seem very routine. You don't have any crazy. Actually, here's a question for you then. Have you wrestled in Japan at all?
No.
But have you seen
the only foreign country I've ever really been to?
Oh yeah, as you said. So do you find the crowds in China react more like the New Japan crowds where it's quiet and for a spot and then they clap, or do you find it's more WWE style where they're just cheering the whole way through?
Oh, they're definitely more quiet and they clap at selected spots, but sometimes I don't understand why they clapped at that spot.
Oh.
Like I did a power slam and I got out. Not even a power slam, a body slam, excuse me.
Right.
It's a basic move. Why are you cheering for that? And one of the things that I get a big pop is I did the Three Stooges eye poke.
Oh.
And they love it.
That's awesome. Hey, man, whatever gets over, right?
Back to about that, you're connecting with them as opposed to doing a Canadian destroyer.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's one of the most overused moves in wrestling now, I think. Thanks, Petey Williams. Okay, next one. If you had to watch one match for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Good question. Wow. I think maybe the Freebirds versus Junkyard Dog and Ted DiBiase.
Oh, nice. Okay. There you go. Old school. I like that.
I saw that for free on Georgia Championship Wrestling, and they
Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. I was gonna say, whoa, what is that?
Before it became WCW.
Right. Okay. Nice.
And I remember Terry Gordy giving Ted DiBiase 3 pile drivers on the concrete floor before throwing him back into the ring. The referee missed 3 pile drivers. Gave him one in the ring, and the commentator goes, "Oh my God, he's hemorrhaging!" It's just stuck in my head.
Oh my God, it's hemorrhaging. That's like one of those. By God, he's broken in half.
Yeah, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. What is a favorite match that you personally have been a part of?
Some of the matches with and against Wong Tao would definitely qualify.
Awesome.
I've had very good matches with Black Mamba, which he's carried me through. And then there's a kid on the roster, Aegon, who I like to work with. Some people may not, but he's game for anything.
Right.
And he knows that I don't like to memorize spots, so he just lets me do what I want to do to him in the ring, which is the way I like to call the matches. I only want to know how we start, how we switch, and how we finish. I don't want to know anything else.
You don't want to do the Randy Savage plan every single move.
I couldn't. I tried it. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah, nice. Okay, awesome. And then finally, where would you say is your favorite place to wrestle? Not like US or China. Like, do you have a favorite promotion? Do you have a favorite crowd? Does any match stand out to you where the crowd was crazy hot?
It would be a tie between World Star Wrestling, WSWF, and that fed I mentioned, RPWF, which actually forced me to become a face. Because I was getting, I mean, this is a horrible comparison, but Austin-like pops, where I had to become a face.
Okay.
And I suck so bad at that. I can't be a face.
Really? Also, that was in the US, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I can't imagine Steve the teacher in MKW being a face when you're sending the little Chinese kid into detention.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe someday he's gonna get jumped by somebody, and I might have to rescue him if the promoters listening.
Exactly.
Mr. Booker man, if you're listening to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the best way to go, right? There are always ways. That's why I think the teacher style gimmick, the fact that you've made it last so long when in the mainstream wrestling, like the Genius, like terrible, right? Dean Douglas, I mean, his issues with the Click, but I mean, that was also terrible. Matt Stryker was the only kind of half decent teacher gimmick, but then I don't think he was as in, like, he couldn't do angles with like students and stuff because he was basically the newbie, right? Whereas you being the older guy, I think that the gimmick works so much better. I think the recent storylines you've been having in MKW are awesome. And honestly, it's one of my favorite things on the show.
And I got to be honest with you, in the 20 years, that's like the first real extended storyline I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, they did that thing, the fan turns wrestler, but that was only for 2 shows.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely working for you, man. I think it's one, insane that you're still going at 54. But congratulations to you. You look like you're in great shape. I've been loving the recent stuff you're doing. And I hope one day when all this COVID nonsense and shit is done, 1, I can get over to MKW and see some shows. And 2, hopefully you can come and start wrestling for all UWA.
I would be very interested in that. I'm already have laid down the groundwork because I plan to move to the Philippines when this is all over. And I've already laid the groundwork with MWF, Manila Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to have our first shows in Manila in June 2020. And that was all through William and Tarek over at MWF. I went over there with my wife, watched one of the mall shows. I love those guys over there. So, love to see you over there, whether it's with us or MWF, or they've also got the World WUW, is it now?
The only one that I know of is PWR.
Yeah, I saw it.
Never responded to my emails.
I went to one of their shows as well. Actually, when I was over there, there was a MWF show one day, and then the following day was a PWR show, which was awesome.
Yeah, was Crystal on it?
She was. In fact, she had a crazy triple threat match with Riho and who was the other? It might have been Alexis Lee, but I'm not sure. But it was one of the matches of the night. Like, it was unreal. The chick fight. In fact, I still got the videos like saved on. You know when you go through and like delete all your videos? Those are the ones that like, oh no, I'm keeping those. Like that was epic.
Yeah, because of the wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. But also because our seats were right on the aisleway too. So everyone coming past, you're getting the high fives, the heels are pushing you in the head and stuff. Like, it was cool. I loved both of those shows actually. The MWF show was a mall show where Ho-Ho went over as the new champion and started telling everybody in the crowd that they're all going to be his domestic helpers, and Hong Kong is better than the Philippines and stuff. And he was like proper healing on them. Me and Claire, my wife, are sitting there just like, oh shit, how is this going to go down? But yeah, they ate it up. It was amazing. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you in one of those shows too soon.
It's got to be soon because I don't have too many years left with me. And I'm not even talking about wrestling. I'm talking about being alive.
Yeah. Oh, please. I'm sure you'll be fine, mate. Look at the shape you're in. If anyone who can wear one of those vests knows they're doing okay.
Oh, another one who uses the term vest. I thought Big Sam was the only one. Yeah.
Is it?
Big Sam and I get into that debate all the time.
Oh, really? Nice. Well,
I tell him you wear a vest at a wedding.
Oh, what? No, that's not a vest. That's a waistcoat.
I think you call it a waistcoat. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. See, this is why me and him are friends also. But honestly, Steve, thank you so much for coming on. It's been amazing hearing about your career. Yeah, thank you so much. And hopefully I'll get to see you again soon.
Excellent. And if you ever need a last second guest, I'll be happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. Take care, man.
Thank you. You
Cheers.
do the same.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.